Naomi, do you believe in ESP, psychic powers, and all that kind of stuff?
Yes.
You know, somehow I knew you were going to say that. Now, what about intuition? I mean, that's a form.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
thing.
you know, I had a feeling you'd say that too. Anyway, I want to test your ESP powers, okay?
Oh, okay.
I have here some ESP testing cards, and do you know what they're used for?
Absolutely not.
They're used for testing people's ESP, okay? Now, there's a symbol test and a number test. Now, the symbols could be squares, stars, plus signs, circles.
Yep.
Okay, and each card is numbered.
Okay.
Right? And what I want you to do, what I'm going to have you do is choose 5 cards using either your intuition or your psychic ability.
Okay.
And here's how we'll do it. Deal out 5 cards, and I want you to just tell me which one of those you feel the most attracted to.
This one.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. And I'll try to help you out a little bit with my power
Okay.
as we go along. So now we'll take a second one. And there's this spot, this spot, this spot, or this spot. Which one do you want to go for?
This one.
This one.
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, please.
All right. That's 2. We'll try this again. Now 3 spots to go.
Far end.
Far end. Perfect. 2 more.
Slap bang in the middle.
Slap bang in the middle. And then the last one, obviously, is going to be here. But if you had chosen in a different order, it could have been any one of these cards, right? Okay, perfect. Now, you've chosen 5 cards using your psychic ability. Right?
Okay.
And remember I said I would help you out?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a subliminal clue here. And you see this ESP ability test card?
Yes.
There's some symbols on there.
Yeah.
Now, wouldn't it be amazing if you chose one of each symbol and the order was square, wavy lines, circle, plus, and if that's a star, I would say you scored very highly on this symbol test.
Wow.
Not bad, not bad. Now, remember I said there was a number test too, right? Now, these cards are numbered, so you've already taken the number test.
Oh, okay.
So you've chosen these 5 cards with these 5 numbers. Now, if you had chosen a different card, like for example, if you chose a different plus sign, you would have got a much different number, or a different circle.
Yeah.
You would have got a different number. But you chose these 5 numbers, right? Mm-hmm. So let's add these up. All right, now 5 and 9 is 14.
Yes.
37. 54.
Yep.
65.
Yes.
That's your score. So you scored a 65 on the number test. Now on the other side of this card, this is what says what the scores mean. And it says if you scored between 15 and 64, but you chose a 65, you scored 65, right? But if it was between 15 and 64, you would be telepathetic. And if you chose 66 to 115, you would be psychoceramic, you know, crackpot.
Yeah, got it.
But it also says if you scored 65, and you did score 65, that your ESP ability would be awesome.
Oh my God,
nice
that's amazing.
job. ESP by the numbers, all right? It's kind of a fun way to force things.
Yeah.
All right? For this trick, you need an ESP deck that's numbered from 1 to 25, okay? And the symbols are in, you know, there's 5 symbols, right? The circle, the plus sign, the wavy lines, the cross, and the star.
Yeah.
Right? Well, what I did was I mixed those up and into this order: square, wavy line, circle, plus, and star. All right. So each 5 cards is in that order.
Okay.
Okay. And so you arrange 5 sets like that, and they're numbered from 1 to 25. So the first set is 1 to 5. The second set is
6 to 10.
6 to 10.
Yeah.
Etc. Right. Etc. Etc. Now the other thing you can do is rearrange these groups of 5, okay? So that
so as long as they're in groups of 5, the order doesn't matter.
the order of the groups doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so that just kind of helps disguise the fact that they were in numerical order. And then the last thing you can do to further disguise this is just up-jog some random cards as you go through.
Mm-hmm.
And then, without taking them out, just spin them around. So that puts numbers up, some numbers in the lower corner and some numbers up in the upper corner.
Ah, perfect.
Okay. That way, if you spread through in groups, no one's going to be able to tell that the symbols are in any particular order or that the numbers are in any particular order.
Brilliant.
And then you need the special prediction card, which has the prediction that's in plain view, but they don't know that yet. And then on the back of it, it has the ESP test results, 15 to 64, 66, and then 65 is the number that is going to be forced, and that means they're awesome, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are ready to go. Introduce the deck, put the card down. Now it's going to be in this order from my right to left, it's going to be star, wavy line, circle, plus, and star.
Right, yeah.
Excuse me, square.
I'm with you.
All right, now here's the fun part, and this is sort of the really interesting thing about this particular trick. There's a force called the matrix force, in which the cards are dealt into with 25 cards, it would be dealt into a 5 by 5 square, right? Mm-hmm. You know this one, right?
Yeah.
And what you do in the matrix force is you point to a card, and all the cards in the same column and the same row are eliminated. And you do that 4 times, and then there's 1 card left, so you get 5 cards. And you will get 1 card from each column and row, and so you'll end up with this set of cards at the end in that order, which is cool. Mm-hmm. But I don't even think we could put a 5 by 5 matrix of cards on this table. So what the matrix reloaded sequence does is it does the same thing as that matrix force in a much smaller space, and it disguises it a little bit. It's not as obvious that you're getting rid of all the cards in the same column and in the same row.
Well, definitely, because I know the original force, but I didn't recognise it when I saw this trick.
Oh,
so
good.
it's
Mission accomplished.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's perfect.
So now what you do is you deal 5 cards and they get to choose one of them. So let's say they pick this one. Now you deal another row of 5, including where they've already chosen. So by dealing another row of 5, you've effectively gotten rid of the cards in the same row as this card because they just got covered up.
Yeah, yeah. Perfect.
And because they can't pick another one.
Because they're picking a row of 5 themselves here.
Because they're filling
this is
in.
not an option. Yeah.
Right. That's the same thing as getting rid of all the cards in the column.
Oh, it's so well disguised.
So they choose, and I always like to point out, just so they don't get too confused or try to, fool around with you on this column, I say you have 4 spots to fill. Which one do you want to fill?
Yeah.
And they choose. Which one?
This one.
Perfect. And it really doesn't matter. So now you deal another row. Point to one.
This one here.
Okay. And then another. And there's 2 spots left.
Yeah, so this one.
This one.
It doesn't look like it could be any fairer, does it?
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
And then the last one has to be this one, right? And then I always point out, of course, if you had chosen these in a different order, it could have been any one of these.
Yeah.
Which is true. Not that it makes a difference.
Yeah. But
Now-
they don't know that.
Now, right now, these symbols are in the right order, right? They're the same order as on the card. And unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but coincidentally, as a byproduct, the same symbols are in each of these piles. So you can't really just stack them up. You have to kind of push them together.
And that destroys all of the evidence, right?
All of the evidence. And this is kind of a natural thing to do. And if you want, you can give it a quick shuffle. And the reveals are actually kind of interesting and fun. Now you point out that you've been helping them out all along, maybe subliminally, because there's a row here, and wouldn't it be interesting if they chose one of each symbol in this order? What if this one here corresponded to the square, and of course it does, and then you do this, and they have in fact chosen one of each symbol in the same order, which is pretty cool.
That's
all
a
by
brilliant
itself.
trick. Yeah, it's a brilliant trick on its own. But you're only halfway done.
And you're only halfway done, yeah. Now you're going to force the number 65. Well, how does that work? Well, because of the matrix principle, and because they were numbered consecutively from 1 to 25, you are absolutely guaranteed that whatever 5 cards are selected will add up to 65. Trust me on that. But it's absolutely true.
I trust you, but my brain doesn't see how that could be right. But it does. It does work.
Right, so now, at the beginning you point out there's symbols on here, on the cards, and numbers. We'll get to the numbers later. You do the symbol test, and now you say, now you've already done the number test because you've chosen 5 cards with 5 numbers on them. And if you had chosen different cards, like a different circle, you would have got a different number, or a different star, you would have got a different number. Square, a wildly different number.
Yeah.
And you do that 3 or 4 times just to let them know that, yeah, you're right.
You'd got different numbers, and it subtly shows that those are mixed as well from your previous phase.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Good.
All right, and then you say, and your score is whatever these numbers total to. Now, if you have to, you can get out your smartphone and add them up, or you can
I
just,
would.
or you can just add them up yourself. See, 11 and 22 is 33, 36, 44, excuse me, 45, and 65.
Yeah.
Will always add up to 65. In fact, if the audience member adds up and doesn't say 65, you know they got it wrong. So you say, well, let's take another look at that.
Yeah.
You sure? Oh, no, it's 65.
Get your smartphone out, the
Right.
calculator, yeah.
And now you say that, and of course the scores are on the back of the card, and you read it out loud. It says, but you don't show it. It says 15 to 64, telepathetic, which is a joke all by itself. This is one I've liked for a long time. 66 to 115, psychoceramic. And it doesn't dawn on people what that means right away, and then until you go, crackpot.
Right.
The ceramic part. And then, of course, if you got 65, you are awesome. So that is ESP by the numbers. It's a fun trick to do. And it introduces this new, I call it matrix reloaded force, which allows you to do the basic matrix force in a much smaller space and a much more disguised space. I mean, you could do a 7 by 7 on this table.
Yeah, and it forces like everything in one go. It forces the one of each symbol in the order and the numbers.
Yes, all at the same time.
That's why I don't understand it.
Now the reset on this is really simple, and I designed it this way on purpose. You can really force any number you want. It doesn't always have to be 65. But if you start off with the cards in order from 1 to 25, then you get 65, which is why I chose the number. So to reset this thing, all you have to do is take the symbols and put them back in order from 1 to 25, and you're done. Takes a little bit of time, not much, but it's really easy to remember.
Yeah.
So that's how you reset the trick. All right, let's do something with some playing cards. Ahead of time, I took some out. These are just some spot cards, number cards,
Yep.
right? And we'll get to these in a minute. But Micah, go ahead and give these a shuffle.
Okay. Oh, you did better than I
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good. I just want you to be sure that I can't know
Yeah,
where any
okay,
particular
fair enough,
cards
yeah.
are. But I'm going to try to think, and I'm going to take one card out. All right, that one. Okay, I'm going to take one card out. We'll get to this in a minute. It may work, it may not.
Okay.
You know, it is an experiment.
We know that you're too good not to work.
But I have these number cards,
Yeah.
right? And Micah, what I want you to do, oh, here's what we're gonna do. I guess I can do that. We're gonna mix these up so that some are face up and some are face down.
Okay.
So I'm gonna deal down on the table. You just tell me face up or face down.
Okay. Face down. Face down. Face up. Face down. Face up. Face up. Face down. Face down. Face down. Face up. Face up. Face down. Face up. Face down. Face down. Face up.
Okay, perfect. Now these are in a random order. There's no way we can tell which were which.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, now we're gonna mix the cards up, and here's how I want you to do it. I want you to deal the cards on the table one at a time. Stop whenever you want,
Yeah.
then take whatever's left, turn it over, and drop it on top.
Okay.
Can you do that? You can deal a lot, or just one or two, or whatever you want to do. Turn it over and put it on top. Perfect. Kaylee, you want to give that a try?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Call to action.
Deal them on the table one at a time, and stop whenever you want. And then turn those over and drop. Perfect. And Rich, you want to do it?
Nice. Okay.
All right.
So
One at a
the
time.
way they are this way.
Perfect.
Okay.
Stop whenever. And then turn those over and drop them on top. Excellent. Now we're going to have 4 cards chosen at random.
Yeah.
Well, actually not at random. I want you to use your intuition and choose one of these cards. Now you can choose one that you can see or one that you can't see. It's your choice.
Okay.
This one.
Yeah.
All right. And Kaylee, you get to pick. You get to fill one of these 3 slots. Now they're all visible, so which one would you like? Okay. And Rach, you get 2 visible ones too.
The 2, please.
2. All right, and then the last one goes here, but since you could have chosen in any order, it could have been any one of them, right? Okay, so we mixed up the cards, and
Yep.
you chose 4 at random,
Yeah.
right? There's an 8, a 5, a 3, and a 2. Now, Micah, what I want you to do is take the deck,
Yeah.
and that's a 2, so deal 2 cards face down on the table. And that's a 3, so deal 3 face down on top of that. 1, 2, 3, and now deal 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now deal 8.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Perfect, perfect. Now, so we've arrived at a card that's completely at random.
Yes.
Okay. And it is the King of Hearts. Now there is
Nice.
one card in the deck that's the same color and the same value, and that'd be the King of Diamonds, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And there was one card that I took out at the beginning,
Right.
and remember I said we'd get back to it later.
Yeah.
No.
What if this one was, in fact, the King? Good job. You guys did great. All right, Matrix Reloaded. This uses the Matrix Reloaded force in a trick that we gave it the same name. So
Right.
Matrix Reloaded. It uses a regular deck of cards, and you'll need 2 groups of 8, 2 groups of cards from ace to 8. That is the starting setup. Okay, and what this is basically a number force. These cards, ace through 8 and ace through 8, will force the number 18. Okay, you can make it force other numbers, but then you're going to have to remember what cards you need. Okay,
Right.
Here I don't have to remember. I know it's ace through 8, ace through 8. Okay, and so the magic number is 18. Now, what are you going to do with 18? Originally, I gave someone 17 cents and someone else a piece of paper to hold, and we do the force. It's 18. They count, it's 17 cents, and the piece of paper says, I owe you 1 cent, okay? So you can do it that way. The other thing you could do is you could use it to find a selected card, or, and Liam, we were talking about this just last night, you're gonna choose 4 of these cards. So your 12 can go back on top of the deck, in which case the 18th card is gonna be the 6th card from the top of the deck. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's going to be the king of spades, right? So you would remove these cards, let the spectator shuffle these, go through and see what the sixth card is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Jack of Hearts, and take out the mate, the Jack of Diamonds.
And that's as a prediction that you're putting aside?
Right, and you say, we'll get to that in a minute, you know, this may not work, but you never know. Okay, so now we're ready to do the force. Now remember I said this was from one ace to 8 and ace to 8. You want to disguise that a little bit. So if you give it a reverse pharaoh by out jogging every other card, like this, and stripping these out, and either pile can go on top. Now what you have is something that doesn't look like it's in any particular order upon casual examination.
Well, especially with the colours and the suits not being relevant, it looks just shuffled.
That's right, because the suits don't matter and the colors don't matter. And now I first saw this in a David Britland thing where he was doing a classic matrix force, and he found out if you give it a reverse pharaoh, it doesn't change the result. So that's kind of cool. But now, so we'll start in this position, and you can show these, and you can give it a cut if you want. But now we're going to add an extra layer of smoke, and this is called the deal, drop, flip. It's by Howard Adams. There is one called deal, drop, flip, cut, but we can't cut these. So okay. So it's just deal, drop, flip. But in order to set up for that, I'm going to turn over cards face up at the spectator's direction. Okay, and this really doesn't have anything to do with the force, but it does make it look a lot more deceptive. And it's going to give your spectator a chance to actually look like they're mixing the cards. But they're not really. Okay, so Liam, as I deal through, you can either say face up, in which case I'll deal it face up, or face down, in which case I'll deal it face down. Are you ready?
Okay, yep, so we'll go face down,
Okay.
face down, face up, face up, face down, face up, face down, face up, face down, face down, face down, face up, face up, face up, face down, and face up.
Perfect. Now, here's the cool part. It doesn't matter which ones are face up or which ones are face down. It's just you want some face up and some face down for the following procedure. And I say, Liam, here's what I want you to do. You can deal the cards on the table like that. Stop whenever you want. And when you stop, turn the rest of them over and drop them on top. Okay, now, the deal, drop, flip, all that does is reverses the order of the packet. It does not change the position or the order of the cards at all. It just reverses them, which in the context of a matrix force is fine. You're allowed to do that. But now the spectator gets to do it.
So we go, yeah. So deal up until I want to stop.
Right.
Turn the packet over and drop it on top.
Perfect. You can do that again if you want. Or if you have multiple spectators, you can let more than one person do it. Presto.
All right.
All right, now we're ready to do the matrix force, or the matrix reloaded force. The traditional one is you deal it in 4 rows, and then you choose one and you eliminate all the cards in the same row and all the cards in the same column. Well, this does exactly the same thing, only it disguises it quite a bit, and it takes up less space. So we're going to deal 4 cards, and you tell your spectator you want them to pick one of them. Now they can pick one that they can see, or one that they can't see. It's totally up to them, and it really is. So
So I'll go for this one.
All right, now you deal a second row of 4, and here's what happens. Since they can't pick this one again, it kills the column.
Yeah.
And since you dealt a second row, it kills the first row.
Right,
See what I'm saying? So it does the same thing as the classic matrix force, only it looks a whole lot different, and it's much more disguised.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's 3 spots to fill, 1, 2, 3, and I always like to point that out. I don't want there to be any confusion. You can pick one that you know or one that you don't know. Which one do you want?
So I'll pick the 5 this time.
Okay, let's do it again. Here or here, your choice.
Go here.
This one, perfect.
And this is a lovely subtlety, isn't it? Because they see different numbers here now. Because you've got some face up. You might not get it each time because it's totally random, but how deceptive is that?
Right, it looks like they might have got a 6.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
And then the last one is going to be whatever's left, but I always like to point out if you had chosen these in a different order, it could have been any one of them.
Yeah.
Which is true. It just doesn't make any difference, right? So the last one is chosen. So now you can pick these up and say, now you might have, and now straighten out the face up cards. You say you might have picked any of these or any of these, and now the cards are all straightened out, and drop them on top of the deck, and that puts the mate of your prediction 18th from the top.
Brilliant.
And these are always going to add up to 18, always. That's just the way the thing works. So let's see, that's 2, 5, 5 is 10. Bet this is an 8. And sure enough,
It is, yeah.
it adds up to 18. So now you can have them added up, take out their cell phone. No, you don't need a cell phone for this one. And count down to the 18th card. Or you could do this, just have them deal 2. Have your spectator take the deck, deal 2, then 3, 1, 2, 3, then 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This sort of diverts attention from the total.
Yeah.
It's much more friendly for the mathematically challenged.
Yeah.
And it's just as deceptive. And so, of course, this is going to be the Jack of Hearts, which matches your prediction, the mate, the Jack of Diamonds. So just point out there's only one card that's the same color and the same value. That would be the Jack of Diamonds. And oh, yeah.
And there it is.
There it is. So that's an application of the Matrix Reloaded Force with regular cards, and it's actually a pretty fun trick to do.